Guys, tell me exactly what you have done with this film to make it so amazing.
We do just what we normally do.
The director. That's what my contribution was, to hire him as the director to make it amazing.
And he also hired David J. Scow, the writer, to make it even more amazing.
That's true.
And then Joel Silver came along and made it
He
even
recognized
more
the
amazing.
that was already happening.
And then just fed that.
Yeah.
So
no, but I think to be quite honest, I think this movie is the culmination of 15 years of our work and our friendship, and sort of we're steeped in horror films up to about here. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to make something to contribute to the genre in a new and interesting way. And I mean, I think that our love for the genre is in every frame of this film. This movie is really about horror films, in a meta way.
But not not what I would say in like a self-reflexive Scream way, because that's already been done. So what we wanted to do is, it's not a bunch of people talking about other horror movies that everyone knows. But they are intelligent and they are savvy about genre conventions and cliches. And what they try to do is they, try to prepare themselves against all those cliches that happen in every horror movie you see, and it doesn't help them.
Can you talk about the evolution of the jump scare and how you guys kind of try to make the audience a little less aware of what they're going to see next as far as the tension goes in this film?
Everything is about misdirection as far as getting a good jump scare or even just a scene of tension and everything. It's always about answering your phone. No, it's about taking those conventions that people are used to and having that sort of slow burn that really builds the tension along, by knowing the characters and getting to know the characters, and then completely spinning the world that they're in, on their head. So that, did that even make sense?
It totally made sense to me.
Yeah. So,
I didn't get it. He hired you and you lost him. He's going to fire you.
He can't fire me.
I can't fire
He can't fire me. He's stuck with me.
I think you ask an interesting question about. I think jump scares are a cheat in a way. I mean, it's much harder. If you want to look at a great example, I think the greatest example of a jump scare that isn't a jump scare is in The Exorcist 3. The Exorcist 3 Legion. There's a scene where there's a camera pointed at the end of a hallway that runs for the shot runs for like 5 minutes. And you see a nurse doing her rounds, and you get lulled into a false sense of security. You think, oh, she's fine. Nothing's going to happen. And then when you least expect it, even though you know it's coming, because it's all about the anticipation. You want the audience to feel the anticipation, and then they let go. And then just when they let go, that's when you get them, and they jump even more.
And I think the other thing is, what we did. I mean, we have just the loud music sting and a bang kind of jump scare. But then also what we did, unlike a lot of today's modern films where it's a lot of handheld, shaky type filming and stuff, we shot this like a traditional... We shot this film like more of a traditional film with longer shots and that type of thing to actually build that tension, because that's how that's how it works. That's the longer you hold on something, the more uneasy the audience is, because they're anticipating. And it's all about timing. If you're it's like, here's when they're expecting the jump, don't give it to them then, give it to them where they're not expecting it to happen. And so I mean, that's kind of how we sort of approached it. It was shooting it in a much more traditional way than a music video or an episode of 24.
And what did you see in him that made you want to get him as the director for the film?
Well, when the project was originally brought to us, I didn't respond to the whole slasher element. I mean, I'm not as well schooled in it, whereas Dave really lives and breathes. I'll tell you what really convinced me. I sat in my house one day with Dave, and I watched David Tui's movie Below, the submarine movie, and he would watch this and give himself totally over to the movie. And when something would happen, like, he didn't squeal like a little girl, but the movie really worked for him. He totally gave himself over to this thing. And I'm like, if he could do that while he's directing, if he could give himself over the way he gives himself over to a horror film, but making a horror movie, then we'd have something very special.
And I think it is very special. I've seen some clips. It looks pretty cool. Can you talk about the casting? Because you look like you have a pretty good cast in this film, too.
Yeah, we got really lucky. We have Tad Hilgenbrink, who plays Tyler. He's the lead guy. And he came in and he really responded to the material because, and what he said about it that he liked is the fact that his character, unlike a traditional horror movie, when something bad happens, the people run away, he runs towards it. He puts himself in the thick of danger because that's what he lives for. We have Sophie Monk, who plays Alexa, who was someone I wasn't really aware of, but she came in, and not only is she absolutely stunning, she's fearless. She'll do anything. She really wanted to push herself and show her fans and an audience that she's more than just a pretty face, that she can actually pull off drama and really show that she's an actress. So we got incredibly lucky with a cast that was absolutely fearless. William Sadler came in. He was our first choice for Kincannon, the crazed director in the movie. And I mean, he was just he was a win because he's so good at anything he does, and he just really reveled in playing this kind of character that I don't think he's gotten to play before. And we were incredibly lucky, and they were all really fantastic to work with.
Okay, well, great. Thank you guys so much.